Okay, I think we might be live. We just might get in trouble Monday. I might have a little time this morning, y'all. We might have to. We might stir the Kool-Aid. We might stir the Kool-Aid a little bit up this morning. We just might. Let me see how this sounds. I think what I can do is turn my CPU down a little bit here so there's less audio interruption. And we're gonna have a little fun today. We're gonna have a little fun today. I'm gonna get in trouble today, y'all. I'm gonna get in trouble. How's everybody doing this morning? It is Get in Trouble Monday. My goodness. I have to get in trouble, y'all. It's just because we gotta be honest. We gotta say the truth. And I'm gonna get in trouble today. Good morning, Tammy. How you doing? Lisa, Halima, Mark, Jasmine, a whole bunch of y'all. Ginger, how are you guys doing this morning? Woo, it's a good weekend. I'm glad everybody made it back. You've appeared on the thread, so obviously you lived another weekend in the United States of the earth, of the whole empire of the earth. Happy Indigenous People Day, Lynn. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. It is? That's so awesome. A day to celebrate the people who actually own all the land that we all scrapping over, because we're all immigrants, every last one of us. But we sit here and we pretend like we didn't murder a bunch of people to take the land. Which, oh, that's right. Oh, I know what you're talking about, Lynn. You know what? I push this stuff out of my mind. I don't even think about it. It's Columbus Day, isn't it? Oh, that's. I don't even pay attention. I thought I saw a sign that said there was something about a Columbus Day sale. And I sit here and it's not funny. It is not funny. It's not funny at all. But, and this is, and I think today, so I want to talk about a couple stuff today. DACA actually is one of them. I kind of want to go there because some news kind of came out on that. And I'm going to have to talk a little bit about Obama today. I'm gonna have to talk a little bit about Trump today. I'm gonna have to talk a couple things I saw in the news that came up. So today is I'm oh boy, I'm gonna lose some friends today, y'all. But that's okay. We gotta tell the truth. It's not political. Remember, when it goes back to being politics and y'all stop murdering people and enslaving people, then I'll let y'all go back to your politics and I'll go talk about some aliens. But right now, none of this is political. This is about stop killing people. So we got to tell the truth, which means we're not always going to make friends. And, if you're in extreme flying monkey news land, if you're in extremist land where you just completely ignore facts altogether, then you really probably aren't supposed to be friends with moderates. You really probably aren't supposed to be friends with human beings and adults. You probably should be no, it shouldn't be in no daycare nowhere neither. You might be a toddler. You might live in a fantasy world, but you shouldn't be anywhere near the kids. So anyway. Oh yeah. Hey Jasmine, good morning. We're gonna talk hey, Brother Martin. Yeah, Jasmine, we might have to talk a little bit about some gun control. Gun control and don't take my guns. We might have to go there because they won't stop talking about it. It's still Sister Patty saying Northern California's on fire. You know what, Patty? I don't know what's happening in Northern California. I have family up there. I don't pay too much attention, but I would, in general, before I even know what's going on, I would say if people dying and stuff is burning down, that's where we need to pay attention. That's where our resources should be. That's where our news should be. Because this is what I think. I'm going to talk about Kaepernick a little bit too. It might be a busy morning. I switched my coffee, so I might get in some serious trouble today. So yeah, we'll talk about Kaepernick a little bit. And I think it's gonna be a ride. I got my cup this morning. It's one of my favorite cups. Y'all see this? Any cup my kids give me, I love. It's my complaint department cup. They got me this one for Christmas. Complaint department says, please take a number, and of course it's on the grenade's pen. They see me as a tyrant, but I'm supposed to be a tyrant. That's supposed to. And this is a cup that's probably made in China, probably made by some slaves, funded by the people who say they don't like slavery, but they got slaves in other countries. But that's another place we might go to. I don't know where we're gonna go to. Who knows what the heck's gonna happen? I'm drinking my coffee. It's a new brand and it's doing crazy stuff in my head. So let's get going. So we all gonna die, y'all. We all gonna die. Let's hope it ain't today though. There's hold on. I think I'm all set up. So we're gonna start out this morning. I think kind of going through some of the news and oh, we all gonna die. That's right. Oh, I went too fast. We all gonna die. So I got the asteroid belt. Y'all see what's behind me? This isn't the asteroid belt. That's some flying fake monkey news. But it's asteroids everywhere. And they all trying to kill us. So we need to focus on like what's trying to kill us. Don't focus on the tiddlywinks and the little shiny stuff that people fight over. Focus on the important things. So we about to die. Let me show y'all something. We all about to die. We going, hold on, let me see if I can, that's not it. Here we go. We all gonna die. Check this out. We about to do some.
Earth is set for a very close encounter as a meteor the size of 2 buses will pass at, well, almost unprecedented proximity. But NASA insists the 30-meter object does not pose a threat, staying some approximate 6,000 kilometers away from Earth. But while many see asteroids as a serious threat, for others they're an opportunity. For example, Luxembourg has become the first European state to adopt a law opening up space mining to private corporations. Miguel Francis Santiago takes a look.
The small landlocked nation of Luxembourg.
We're not going to go much further than that, but we all about to die. Y'all get that? It's another asteroid. It's always some asteroids on the way. And this asteroid is the size of 2 buses. That's an Earth-level extinction event. We all about to die. It's going to come within, what did it say, something like 60,000 miles? One has never been this close. I don't really trust NASA in their calculations, to be honest with you, because I got a lot of friends that work at NASA, and I used to cheat off their tests, and I didn't always pass. So just a little piece of a burp or something, solar flare, a couple cows on the other side of the planet fart a little too much, shift the rotation of the Earth, and the asteroid going to smack into it. Again, I'm gonna get to this point. If something is coming for us to kill us, and something always coming for the human race, usually it's our friends in Washington, but if something's coming for the human race, why don't we pay attention to that? Why can't we look at what's really important? Human life and freedom. Why we got to talk about gun control and my gun rights? But I'm not gonna go with that this morning. So hey, good morning, Mary. How you doing? The White House. But Sister Lynn, we can hit the White House. But the White House, if it hits the White House, it's going to kill a lot of good people. And when I talk about Washington, we all got family and friends down there. You don't ever want innocent people to die. If we want the asteroid to hit the White House, we'll be just as complicit as those dropping drone bombs on children. So we don't really want that. If anything, to be honest with you, we want our politicians back. That's what we want. We don't want nobody dying. Enough people done did some dying. We want them back, which is why we got to be honest with it. Like, I had a good conversation this weekend. We were talking about just keep it about policies. Stop making this stuff personal. Because when you make it personal, you turn really intelligent people into bumbling morons. Don't make this stuff personal. Make it about politics. Don't talk about Trump and his hair and his gut and Obama and something. He got some funny stuff about he's a liar. He's a liar and he is a Wall Street tycoon, but corrupt dude. But we have to talk. Oh no, what y'all talk? Y'all talk about his wife. Y'all talk about his kids. Y'all make this stuff personal. Stop making it personal, because when you make it personal, and then you talk about the whole monkey jokes, all that stuff y'all did the last 8 years. When you make it personal, you piss people off, and then we can't have an intellectual discussion. And that's my point, is anything that brings about division, you're not working for the people, you're working for the ruling elite. You need to kind of stop that, right? Like we need to have some intelligent discussion. So don't make it personal, just make it about policies. And from a policy perspective, Yeah, these guys agree a lot. They agree a whole lot that you can't see when you put the word Trump or Obama in front of it. So we're gonna go there, but I don't wanna take out. You don't want to take out. And I know you're joking, Lynn. I know you are, but we don't want to take out any of the politicians. We want to bring them back, right? We need to bring the politicians back to working for the people. We don't need to get okay. Maybe we do need to get rid of the government, but that might be step 72. Step one, right, is we need to stop fighting with each other so we can get the politicians back doing what the people want them to do instead of always what Wall Street want them to do. I'm gonna show you something. This one ain't gonna be fun. Let me show you this one. Oh, gosh. I was going through the RT news this morning. Always watch other people's news. Look at this. This is ridiculous.
An Ohio juvenile detention center is being taken to court by 4 former inmates who say they were forced to participate in organized fights. Their lawsuit alleges that these brutal and bloody brawls were hosted by detention officers Freddie Hodges and Joshua Zimmerman with complacency from others. Joining me to talk about this is executive editor of Trial Lawyer magazine, Farron Cousins. What's the full story with this lawsuit, Farron?
Well, basically what these guards at this juvenile detention facility were doing was every Friday they had what they called fight night. They would get these juveniles in there, force them to fight, and some of the ones who refused to fight, they would then pick the largest inmate there and make that person just go beat the heck out of whoever refused to actually come down into these fights. And this was a huge, only 2 people resigned as a result of this. But there was complacency among the other guards. There was complacency among the medical staff who would attend to these and make sure that nobody had visible bruises or injuries. In fact, they actually encouraged them to hit each other in the bodies so that other guards who were not participating wouldn't be able to see the injuries.
All right, I'm gonna pause it there, and I'll post the link so you guys can watch the full reports. I do want you to support RT, but so what this is talking about using kids as gladiators, right? Basically, using inmates in prison, and they're not inmates. Let me take that back. They're not inmates because that's the wrong word. That kind of plays into this bipartisan. It's okay to have slaves, and we're gonna tear down the statues of Robert E. Lee, but we're gonna support our own slavery. That's not right. These are kids. These are kids who are under 25 who don't even have frontal lobes. They were ripped off the street. They were thrown into slave institutions. They're used for free labor, and the other thing they're used for is for fighting. Why? Because it's fun for the guards. Good morning, Sister Diane. And so, and this happens in a lot of prisons. If you guys ever know anybody who's been to a United States prison, you will know that the guards are like they're the masters in there. They're not the masters, they're the line bosses or the whipping guys, whatever you want to call them. But it's entertainment. And you'll get these kids in here that they're nabbing off the street, under 25, don't even have a frontal lobe yet, can't even make full decisions as a human being, and they can do anything they want to them on these little mini slave commissary plantations. And so this is why, again, I'm not on any sides with it, because if any political party, if any of these guys try to tell you that they are just against slavery and they're for the little guy and they're for the middle class, then just ask them the question: why do you throw all their children in prison and let them be used as slaves? And so this was a fight club that's being run. And I have friends who've been there and they've gotten out, and this is just a very regular thing. There was that guard out of New York who wrote that book. I want to say he worked at Rikers, and he got out and he explained, and he was a part of it. It was just, the guards were their own gang, the kids had their gang. And so the whole prison system, when it comes to me, if you ask me, the whole thing completely needs to be toppled, the entire thing. So, but it's good to see that RT is actually talking about slavery. Where is CNN? Where is MSNBC? Where is Fox News? Where are all these bipartisan, news? I don't even call them news. They're just bipartisan. What do we call liars? We used to have a lot of names for liars. We used to liar, liar, pants on fire. How come these news stations want to convince you they give a damn, but they don't talk about the important issues? They don't talk about their own complicity with their parties with slavery. So, stop that. People y'all talking about. Yeah, it is disgusting, Sister Lisa. It's disgusting, and it's not a racial thing. It is across the board. If a baby, and if you're under 25, you're a baby. You land in prison, then the adults who are in there, they can do anything they want with your babies. And the reality is, it's not a racial thing. If you are a slave, you are a slave. It doesn't matter what color your skin is, what your hair look like, your eyes, your toenails, none of that matters. Either we are a country that supports slavery or we don't. Actually, I think that's saying the wrong way. I don't think we're a country that supports slavery. I think we are a country that are always locked in a system based on currency that makes money any way we can. I was thinking about something this morning, y'all. I was thinking about you always got to work a problem down to the root cause. You always got to work a problem down to the root cause. And if you can do that, you can actually solve the problem. And I was thinking about racism today. I was like, of course the problem isn't racism. Everybody wants to talk about that, but that's not what's really going on. It's always been some sort of powerism, right? Currencyism, dollarism. If they can't get people fighting over race, they'll get them fighting over gender. If they can't get them fighting over gender, they'll get them fighting over religion. If they can't, if they evolve past that, they'll get them fighting over what color their toenails are. If they can't get them fighting over that, they'll get them fighting over gun control. If they can't get them, the whole point is they gain power, wealth, and the ability to do us all in the rear end by getting people who don't get how this works to fight about the side effects. Let me show you something. Every now and then, I live in a little country house, and every now and then, we get these things. I guess y'all call them silverfish. We used to call them centipedes, but hold on, let me show you this. Let me show you this guy right here. Let me see if I can do this. Don't run. So the analogy I was thinking about today, these things are creepy. They scare the hell out of me. Anyway. So I was thinking about trying to solve a problem. So you got this thing that's crawling across your kitchen floor. And, it's a beneficial insect, mind you, because it kills ants and all types of other bugs. But you want to get rid of it. Do you just get rid of the entire bug? Or do you just start taking off his legs one at a time? Like, it's the difference between trying to solve a problem, knowing the root cause of the problem, and treating the side effects, going after the side effects, right? Going after the racism as opposed to going after the dollar, the powerism, right? Like, I've never seen somebody see one of these things in their house and just start pulling legs off one at a time. Eventually, I'm going to get it. All right, I got another analogy, right? So, if you don't know the root cause of a problem, let me get the bug off of there. So we're like, it's a bug. You don't want to look at it. If you don't know the actual problem, don't say anything. If you don't know the root cause, don't provide a solution. Because if you don't know the root cause, that you got water sitting around the house in places, and silverfish, centipedes they love water, then you can kill it, another one's gonna come. You can rip off his legs. It's just gonna keep walking. You're not gonna slow it down. But if you fix the problems in your house that allow the silverfish, well, they'll probably always get in, but you don't make it comfy for them, you won't see them. Like if you do. All right. Let's go to basil. Anybody ever grow basil? Let's talk about basil for a minute. Sometimes you got to give analogies, I think, for people to understand. This is basil. And I got basil. I grow basil. It's show and tell, y'all. I got my show and tell. This is my basil. I got some basil. I always got basil. I love me some pesto. So I'm gonna try to, yes, you can't see it that well. I don't know if I can kind of explain this, but this is a mediocre basil plant. It's long and woody. It's actually purple. It's blue basil. It's not Genoese basil, but it looks long and scraggly because there was a person who was busy doing live streams and he didn't have a chance to prune it. Basil, how basil grows. So you want to harvest your basil from the top, because if you look in the middle, see this example right here, you have nodes, right? And if you clip it from the top and you get your basil leaves from the top, side branches will grow out. And then each of those will have nodes. You clip them from the top, and then 4 more side branches will grow out. And you clip those from the top, and then 8 more branches will grow. And so while harvesting basil leaves is a wonderful thing, I think it's a reverse of problem solving for root cause analysis, right? Because you're never going to stop a basil by clipping it from the top. Because the more you clip it from the top, the more it's going to branch out, and that energy is going to grow to the wide. It's going to grow wide. A gardener, your goal, what you want to do is you want to make a basil bush. You don't want this tall, leggy plant. You want a basil bush. And this is what we do when it's a reverse of it. Because every time you hit a side effect, every time you gun control, every time you throw out a solution that's not really a solution, you cause side branching, right? Like the problem will figure out other ways. Why? Because it wants that money. It wants to live and survive. And so the more centipede legs you cut off, it just grows. I think it grows more. I'm not sure. Does a centipede grow more legs? I don't care. It does. Listen, y'all lie all the time. I'm gonna lie. Centipede, it's just gonna grow more legs. Daddy long legs. You can pull his legs. It's just gonna grow. It's gonna branch. And so a problem we have in our country is we keep going for the side effects, which cause more problems. You get a headache, so you take Tylenol, and the headache gets masked. It does not go away. The problem still exists, because 90% of all headaches are just your brain shrinking. You drink water, the headache goes away, but you don't. You're American. You take Tylenol. And so the Tylenol causes all types of other genetic expression in your body, causing all other problems. The problems branch out. You got other problems and more problems, and you don't know what all the problems are. And the next thing you know, you're dead from autoimmune disease. I'm going to keep going. Am I making any sense to y'all? Like, is it like really always go for the root cause of the problem? Because if you solve that problem, you fix all the branching. In the example of the basil plant, if you don't want the basil plant no more, you cut it at the bottom and it'll never grow again. If you want to get rid of slavery, you want to get rid of guns, and you want to get rid of psychopaths and all the problems we have in our country, get rid of the money. They all do it for the power. They all do it for the money. It's all about powerism. But all right, I'm gonna keep going. I don't know how I got over the basil and pesto, and sometimes my mind, it does. I'm not sure what kind of coffee this is. This was like some sort of blueberry, something flavored. It was organic. It's delicious, but it's making my mind sad. Yeah, Sister Tammy talking about just because it looks different, how come we gotta kill it? Because there's some others. There are others. I don't know what that is. The thing crawled across the floor, scared the hell out of me, so I gotta kill it. It lives in the country. I don't know what it is. It has guns, so it has to be something bad, so I gotta kill it. It lives in the city. I don't know what it is, but it drives a nice car, and it writes legislation that tells me I can't harvest water, so I gotta kill it. It's that whole other mentality. People being scared of something that they just... Anyway. Whew, let's keep going. Oh, hold on. Speaking of, we were talking about, let me do this. Let me put this down here. We were talking about taking Tylenol, causing more problems branching out, treating the side effects, which you actually create more problems, going after the guns, which, by the way, y'all, all the guns he had were all illegal. Everything he did was against gun control. So why you go after peaceful gun owners, I have no idea. But there's some others. There's a centipede crawling across the floor. Ain't never seen them before, don't know any, not sure what they are. They might be dangerous. Why would you attack a criminal problem going after people who have never done a crime? And the guy who did the crime, it was all criminal. Sometimes I don't think people's brains link up outside of the fact that you're never going to win the gun control debate. Your brain's just not doing what it needs to. But this is the problem with letting politicians give you the solutions. Letting the most violent people on the planet who make money from making the most violent weapons. I posted something this morning. Where is my post at? Let me go to my post. I was thinking in my brain, I was driving and something hit my brain and I was thinking about gun control. And so when it comes to the NRA, hold on, wait a minute. What was I talking about? It had to do with a nation with two extreme sides that embrace legislated violence with every solution have a problem with violence. Think about that for a minute. It's not even just that. But a nation that invests the majority of its GDP into making weapons more violent, weapons that kill more and more humans more efficiently, weapons that, and they fund these companies and they make sure that these companies have all the money they need, which who fund the NRA, by the way, so they can get all these weapons and sell them to kids and, destabilize governments in other countries so individuals can kill more and more people at increasingly rates. Are just surprised when the numbers of mass killings in their own country go up. If you don't see the contradiction and all of that ridiculous retardedness in the whole gun control debate, I'm just confused. Let me keep going. I don't want to talk about it. Somebody sent me down that gun control route. It's just an ignorant debate from top to bottom, which will never come to a solution because they don't want a solution. They don't want you to have guns. Why? Because they want to make you do everything they want you to do. They don't want you to have any control over anything. But they will put the guns in the hands of a 5-year-old in the Congo or Niger or Syria or Turkey in a heartbeat if it'll destabilize their country so they can take some mineral resources and make some slaves out of them. So that's the whole bipartisan thing. This is why I don't discuss slavery with parties, because both of them love it. But they like to tear down statues and fight to keep them up because you're stupid. But all right, let me stop. I'm sorry. You're not stupid. I love you. You're not stupid. You missed that class in school. That's all. You just missed a class. You fell asleep for a little bit, but we can wake you up. We gotta get civics back in school, by the way. Speaking of, I missed one. Hold on. Speaking of civics, I want to talk about Kaepernick. Can I talk about Kaepernick for a minute? If you got a friend, and this is kind of for the right, if you got a friend that's deep on the right, because it's a lot of my friends on the right get it, right? Because they're libertarians and they kind of lean to the right, but they get it and they understand freedom of speech and they don't necessarily agree with not standing for the flag, but they support Kaepernick's freedom to speak. I think Jesse Ventura just ended the debate. I think Jesse Ventura shut it down. I want y'all to look at Jesse Ventura for a minute. Where's Brother Jesse? Brother Jesse said something this morning. You got to watch his show. If y'all don't watch Brother Jesse's show, you need to watch it because I love the fact that he comes from the angles that also just aren't partisan.
All right, Governor, you've been vocal about your support for former 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick. Now, while he was on the team last year, he refused to stand during the national anthem before a series of games to protest police brutality and the oppression of minorities. Critics say that football should not be political, but football has always been political. In fact, a Senate report titled Tackling Paid Patriotism revealed that between 2012 and 2015, the Department of Defense paid professional sports teams $6.8 million in taxpayer money for patriotic tributes. Now, these include on-field color guard and enlistment ceremonies, national anthem performances, flag details, military appreciation nights, and welcome home performances for returning soldiers. During that same period, the military services spent $53 million in marketing and advertising contracts with professional sports leagues. This includes the NFL, NBA, NHL, and MLB. One NFL team that received DoD money is Colin Kaepernick's former team, the San Francisco 49ers. The official definition of a patriot, Governor, is a person who regards himself as a defender of individual rights against presumed interference by the federal government. So, Governor, what do you say to people who call Kaepernick a traitor?
They're wrong. First and foremost, let's get to this. Let's get to the nitty-gritty of the situation. There is nothing in the Constitution, there is nothing in the Bill of Rights, there is no law, to my knowledge, on the books that state you have to salute the flag. Now, most of us do it. Most of us do it, some because of peer pressure of not doing it. But there is no law that says you have to do that. Nothing. It is not an offense. Yet there is a law called the First Amendment to the Bill of Rights, which allows you to petition your government in a fashion of, being able to protest. So there's a law supporting Colin Kaepernick's right to protest. There is no law that says he cannot do that. He has the right to do it under the law. He's exercising that right. Now, you people out there may not like it. You may think he's wrong in doing it, but it's the bigger picture, people. I'm a veteran. And what I fought for and what I served my country for is for what the flag actually stands for. Not the flag itself, what it stands for. And what it stands for is freedom. It stands for freedom and liberty. And that's what the Constitution, Bill of Rights, and our government are supposed to guarantee us. Freedom and liberty. Now, someone may express that freedom and liberty. You may not like it. Well, you don't have to watch, turn the channel, whatever. Then we get to the point of paid patriotism and we find out that prior to 2008, 2009, players weren't even required to be on the field for the national anthem. Now, all of a sudden, they're required to be there. First and foremost, I'd like to pose this question. Why is the national anthem played at all at a sporting event? That we need the blessing of the government or the country to play a game like football or baseball or basketball? I don't understand why it's played in the first place. In fact, being from Minnesota, I think you could probably fire the crowd up a lot more if you played, the Vikings are purple and gold. If you played Purple Rain by Prince prior to the game, you'd probably get into bigger frenzy of wanting your team to win. Why is the anthem played in the first place? To bless the games like the Roman Empire? Is that what we're looking at here? We need to bless before the lions eat the Christians or whatever goes on in the sporting event? And for people to get angry at Kaepernick for remember something, people, it's the First Amendment. That even puts it in front of the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. And I'm willing to bet most of these people with their Second Amendment right to bear arms are ones attacking the First Amendment and Colin Kaepernick's right to protest the government and the country. Again, people, you don't have to like it, but you don't want to live in a totalitarian type government where they tell you you can't do it, or when you have a president that has the audacity to say you should be fired for exercising your First Amendment rights.
Right.
That is sick. That is sick. You have a president that took an oath to defend the Constitution, to defend the Bill of Rights, and yet he's being hypocritical when he's stating you should be fired for exercising your First Amendment rights. The forefathers made it number one because it's the most important, Brigida.
Right. And Governor, you asked me why they have to sing it. Well, one of the main reasons why the DoD pays for such contracts is to increase military recruitment. But in 2014, while the National Guard was spending millions of dollars on professional sports advertising contracts, it was simultaneously requesting more money from Congress to cover a shortfall of over $100 million it needed to pay its troops. Now, this is just another way our military seems to be wasting and mismanaging money, isn't it, Governor?
Well, I wouldn't call it wasting and mismanaging it, Brigida. It's done for a purpose. It's done to get young, impressionable men like me, when I was 18 years old. They get you all fired up with patriotism, nationalism, whatever you want to call it, to go serve at war. So it has a purpose. They need bodies. People need to remember this. Whenever you go to war, you need living, breathing bodies that you can sacrifice for the cause. People are going to die. You need to replace the ones that are the ones that are injured. So what better recruiting tool than to go to the National Football League or other pro sports, which are watched tremendously by kids 15 to 25 years old, which are the exact bodies that they need in the military, the exact people they need to recruit. So I think it's brilliant on their part that they focus like that, but I think there needs to be honesty about it. They need to allow the public to know we're focusing on your kids, we're focusing on the young people, because we need them to enlist so that we can carry on with our war machine.
I'm gonna stop there because I need y'all to watch Brother Jesse. I need y'all to support his show. It's on RT. It's off the charts. Everyone that I've seen, Jesse always in the middle. It's just something about, he doesn't play these games with either side. Love the brother to death. So he crushed it, and I love it. I love it when someone really sums up the whole point. The point, if you are a true patriot, you will totally stand up for a Kaepernick's right to take a knee. That is a fact. If you are a statist, if you're an establishment person, if you are a it's not even state, it's more like Wall Streetist, because there is no state really no more anyway, it's just Wall Street. If you're a like crony capitalism shill, then of course you'll be against Kaepernick. So this I love it. I love it because he just nailed. He's like, he was throwing him. And so the reality is, the NFL, I don't want the NFL to be political. It's always been political. The whole thing from time, standing for the pledge, that is there for the reason. You know, why do drug dealers go to schools and give kids drugs? To get them started, to make them customers, for the same reason you stand for the pledge in the beginning of sports. Because they're not sports. It's just the Coliseum. It's always been the Coliseum. You have the emperor that's getting his praise at the beginning, and then you have some sort of event that's happening, and so you're thankful to the state because you live such a good life so that... I don't want to go off, but I love it. I love it. And he nailed it. And he was the right one to say it, too, because he's a veteran, right? He was the right one to say it. You know, I didn't go and fight to die for a flag, or I didn't go to risk my life for a flag. I was in the service for what the flag stands for. And if you're a true patriot, beyond a shadow of any doubt, you stand for what the flag stands for. And that's why I call myself a patriot. Because the great thing about, and so don't get lost, because people say, I say I'm a patriot, and they're like, they get lost in nationalism. Oh, well, you're a nationalist. Think a little deeper. And what is an American patriot? America is one of the few countries in the world that has a government that's designed for freedom, leaving people the hell alone, letting them have whatever religion they like, letting them marry whoever they like, go wherever they like, do what they like, as long as it's peaceful. Being an American patriot is basically saying, we're just going to leave everybody alone. Let everybody live free. Let everybody, and so don't confuse nationalism where, we're doing this in our interest, with what our government's doing now, because we don't really have a government. It's just Wall Street. Don't let Wall Street confuse you, right? Being an American patriot means that you stand for the freedom of Syrians like you stand for the freedom of everybody else. So I loved it. Brother Jesse nailed it. I have to post that later because he put it right out there. He laid it right out there. I think the whole Kaepernick debate is done. I think it's over and it's done. You are either a Wall Street promoter or you are a promoter of freedom. And so I certainly appreciate, I was going to say it the other day, but the whole Las Vegas thing blew up. And so I kind of stopped it. But the whole point was that I was happy to see, and I didn't watch last night. I know I said I'm gonna start watching the NFL. That might be some fake news. I don't know. I'm gonna try to. Like, I'm excited by the fact that more players are. What were they doing? They weren't taking a knee during the pledge. I think they were taking a knee prior to the pledge in support, and so they stood for the pledge, but they were also supporting Kaepernick. That's America. Like, that's what you want to do. That's what a patriot is. So the NFL just like, because for me, years after year, kind of like doo-doo. Like it's the wisdom in attending the Coliseum, which is what we do every time you turn on the channel. They know you're watching. It was a very unwise thing to do, right? Because I've always seen where this is going with the Coliseum. But the fact that now you got gladiators, which is what they are, it might be gladiators in tight suits, but that's okay. But the fact that the gladiators are now standing up and saying, whoa, whoa, Julius Caesar, you ain't supposed to be doing this. Wall Street Caesar, y'all doing some wrong stuff. Y'all, we're not loving this. And so I think the NFL, to me, is getting more interesting. Now, I'm only watch the first 5 minutes. I got more important things to do, but I'm not hating on you. You want to watch the NFL, you want to watch the gladiators, go ahead. So I think he crushed it. Thank you, Brother Jesse. And we're going to be moving right along. Where are we at? But I was kind of going through the news this morning, and I ran into a few interesting things. So we talked about that. Oh, it's time to get in trouble. Okay, here we go. Y'all ready? Are y'all ready to get in trouble? So this is what all right, I'm going over here. Here we go. I'm going to show you the image. Y'all know why I'm getting in trouble in a minute. We about to get in trouble. Some of y'all know what this is. Some of y'all don't. So, all right. So, and let me preface this, because I got a lot of friends on the left that just really aren't ready to swallow that pill. They're really not ready to say that this was a Wall Street dude, right? They're not ready to go there. And I always have to preface it, because I got friends who don't seem to understand. I am just as critical as the policies that Trump. If you run against Wall Street, and you run against the banks, and you run against the bank bailouts, and you run against corporate capitalism, like you run against those things, you say drain that swamp in your own way, which was clean up Washington. But you get in, all right, so, all right, I'm gonna play it, and I'm gonna say again, it's not about this dude, it's not about the dude in office now, it's about the truth. If you lying, then you gotta take the lumps. This is about lumps, right? You spilled the milk on the counter, grandma gonna say, go get the switch. You gotta take the lumps. This is how it goes. So, for those of y'all locked in identity politics, man, I love y'all. I really do. But this is bigger than you, right? This is bigger than your ego. If we can't start to criticize and chastise our leaders, we will never get them back. And I got some criticism. I got some chastisization I'm about to throw out there, because you got to raise your politicians. You got to raise them. We done made them spoiled. We done spoiled our politicians, and they just rotten. And I think raising a politician is just like raising a child. What would happen? I know I'm talking. I didn't play the clip yet. I'm going to play the clip. What would happen if you raised a child and you never corrected them? What would happen? Oh, I got one. What would happen if you raised a child named Honey Boo Boo? I still have not seen a picture of this person, but y'all talk about her, so I know what y'all talk about. And the little girl is so cute that, I don't know if she's cute, but the little girl is so cute that you refuse to correct her. You get lost in baby identity politics. Your child is just so cute and precious that you just let it do what it wants. You never correct it. You bless everything it does. You will create a monster who will take over your house and eventually will grow up to be a 16-year-old if they ever get bigger than you, and they will run your house. I'm ready to get in trouble. This is what happened at the correspondence. If you get locked in identity politics so deep that you can't criticize the people you vote for, you are what's wrong with America. You are the problem. Because when they do something wrong, it's like your friend. I'm going to say one more thing. It's like your friend. You know who your good friends are? Your good friends are people who correct you. That's who your good friends are. Your good friends are the people who tell you the truth about you. Your good friends are the ones who make you cry because they know your past and they can bring it up to help you to become a better person. And you will help them become a better person because you correct them. You know how people who aren't your friend? They're people who just tell you, they keep just saying, oh, you're doing such a good job. You're doing a good job. You don't do anything wrong. So, all right, let me shut up. I'm gonna let you see what he said. Let's see what he said. What had happened at the correspondence speech was this.
Here we are. My 8th and final appearance at this unique event. And I am excited. If this material works well, I'm going to use it at Goldman Sachs next year.
That's so funny. He's so funny. He's just joking.
Earn me some serious Tubmans.
He gonna get us some Tubmans. He's gonna get us some Tubmans. He just gonna get some Tubmans. He just joking, y'all. It's the correspondence speech. We just joking. It's just jokes. We jokes. We're not being serious. We just joking. We really not gonna go to some of the most evil people on the planet who support slavery, who destabilize nations, who are paying to starve out populations and take some blood money from them. He's so funny. He's so funny. People. When you can't be so lost in identity politics that you continue to embrace and not talk about policy. If your policy is to take blood money, then we're not on the same team. And this is not a big hit on Obama. For the people who love him, fine, good with that. It's not personal. But if you ally with the banks and you ally with Wall Street and you ally with those who are destroying our planet, our very civilization, you need to pull your president. You pull your, I don't know what he is now, but you need to pull him up. You need to correct, because what I guess is about to happen is now they've already collected millions, like 5.4 million or something like that. So they've already, they've got the website up, the Obama Foundation, Obama.org, and you think he's about to go out there and do some good. If they, because it's not a he, it's they, but if they do anything close to what the Clinton Foundation did, you can expect a whole lot of slavery the world over. You can expect a whole lot of destabilization, mineral grabs, slavery. Now, mind you, they'll build hospitals and they'll do pretty things in front of the camera, but behind the scenes, some real bad things are going to happen. Why do you think banks are giving him money? Now, if you listen to Lee Camp and those guys, they talk about it was a payoff for what he already did. But what if it's not? What if it's a pay for what he's about to do? Don't ever let somebody's skin color tell you that they're your friend. Don't ever let somebody's groupism tell you that they're up to something good. If they start allying with the enemy, which the banks completely are, then they're up to something. And so go ahead and get in trouble with that. So now I'm going to say something bad about Trump. Because y'all, he said something bad about Obama. He don't never say nothing bad about no Trump. Yes, I do. I just speak to policy. Policy, if you are with the banks, you are a bad guy. Sister Lynn, thank you. Pay for play. So they got their own lithium or platinum or plutonium that they want to sell to. All right. I'm done with that. I'm going to stop. with that. I'm going to move off. And, oh, no, actually, I'm not done. I'm sorry. Hold on. We're almost done.
We're starting. All right. By the end of this opening segment, you will understand how thoroughly Wall Street owns our government. Barack Obama, after getting laid off from his last job, has finally managed to find another position. He has. There were a few lean months there where he was, busking on street corners, charging $1 to sing people a song, and maybe show them how to obliterate small towns in Afghanistan from an unmanned drone. It was lean times. It was lean times there for a while. But yeah. Honestly, though, when you think about the idea of a former president just on the loose, it's fucking horrifying, isn't it? Like these are guys that spent 8 years destroying cities, wrecking economies, and now they're free range. There should be some kind of rehab where we sit them down and we're like, all right, you've been murdering a lot of people with your bombs and such. Not okay anymore. You gotta stop. To ease you off, we'll let you murder 2 more, okay? But that's it. So yeah, President Obama has found a new gig to make ends meet. He is set to get $400,000 from a single speech to a Wall Street investment firm. Some are saying this is hypocritical, right? Because Obama has criticized Wall Street fat cats. But no, this is not hypocritical. Not at all. I'm defending him on this. In order for this to be hypocritical, there would have had to be a point when Obama actually did anything to hurt or regulate Wall Street. But he was Wall Street's bitch all along, all right? They had him tied up in a basement with the mask and the zipper over the mouth, that thing. Saying this is hypocritical is like saying it's hypocritical for Steph Curry to hit a three-pointer. No, that's just what he does. That's his thing. But while not hypocritical, it is a sign of how utterly corrupt and bought off our government is. This is nearly a $500,000 thank you from Wall Street to Obama for allowing them to remain too big to fail and too big to jail, for allowing them to continue carving up the carcass of the American working class. And this money also serves as a message to future presidents like Donald Trump. This is Wall Street saying, hey, you take care of us, we'll take care of you. All right, just unmarked bills, brown bag, real classy, real classy. This is legalized corruption at its best. And this story has made everyone furious. Not a soul supports Obama's corruption.
People are like, oh, why doesn't he not accept the money? No, that. That. No.
Well, a few people are cool with it, I guess. But I'm sure Trevor Noah will have a rock-solid reason for endorsing the greed and bribery that is literally leading our extinction as a country, species, and planet.
No, I'm sorry. So the first black president must also be the first one to not take money afterwards? No, my friend. He can't be the first of everything. That and you. Yeah, I said it. No. Make that money, Obama. Make that money.
He can't be the first of everything? You're going with that? That's like saying Jackie Robinson was the first African-American to play in the major leagues. He can't also be the first to not beat his wife. Beat that wife, Jackie. Beat that wife. Well, have no fear, Trevor. Obama wasn't the first of tons of things. He could have been the first to avoid letting Wall Street control his economy, but he didn't. Could have been the first to not bomb tons of innocent civilians, but he bombed the shit out of them. Could have been the first to really stand up against big oil, but nope. Could have been the first to stop fracking across the country. Nuh-uh. Could have been the first to end the completely insane and racist drug war. No way. Furthermore, there have been presidents who refused to take big money after the presidency. Both Truman and Carter shunned the corporate paychecks they were offered. So, Trevor, you're worried Obama will be the first to do everything? Other than being the first black president, I'm not sure he's the first to do anything.
And yeah, don't get me wrong. I agree that the system must change. But it doesn't change with Obama, all right?
You got that right. You did. You nailed it. Nailed it. It did not change with Obama at all. And part of the reason for that, which I'm sure you don't, have time to talk about, is that Obama was Wall Street's errand boy before he was even elected. Remember that WikiLeaks email that came out last year that showed that back in October 2008, a month before Obama even won the presidency, Michael Froman, at the time an executive at Citigroup, the parent company of Citibank, sent an email to John Podesta, who was running Obama's transition team. The email listed recommendations for Obama's cabinet. The cabinet list ended up being almost entirely on the money. It correctly identified Eric Holder, Janet Napolitano, Robert Gates, Rahm Emanuel, Peter Orszag, Arnie Duncan, Eric Shinseki, Kathleen Sebelius, Melanie Barnes, and for Treasury, Timothy Geithner. Citibank picked his cabinet, motherfucker!
Okay, so we're gonna stop there, because I'm I know we're pushing a little deep this morning, but like, you gotta be honest. Like, if we're gonna get anywhere, it's just too important. It's important that we be honest. It's important that if you want Obama to be a part of whatever new is gonna happen, if you want him to be a part of a impartial voice, if you want him to be a leader, Trump too, any of your leaders, you have to keep them honest. You have to raise them honest. I'm not going to play the whole Lee Camp thing because, my Obama friends get a little too mad at me. But, and plus I want you to support Lee. I want you to watch Redacted tonight. So, but the point is, guys, is that there's no such thing as good and bad politicians. You just got politicians. That's all they are. They're not white. They're not black. They're not Christian. They're not anything that you think that they are. They are politicians. The game is to thrive in a sick system. How does that sick system work? The sick system works through Wall Street. Like I said, when they put it out there, everybody should have been posting the WikiLeaks a million times over. There is nothing more important than in the United States of the earth than WikiLeaks actually reveal that our presidents don't even get to make their own decisions, right? He was never president. They took him in. I honestly, and I'm going to be fair, I actually liked Obama. I did. I liked him as a senator. I really did. However, towards his election, I started to see the backing out with the bailouts and wait a minute, and cannabis, and he started shifting positions, and the war went from we're going to end it immediately to, we shouldn't be in it, and it's a mistake. Sometimes you got to say a mistake, and I got to walk out. And it turned into, we're going to delay leaving the war. We're going to hang in there for a couple months. It's going to take 6 months. Might take a little bit longer. And so I couldn't go with it. So what's happened since? What's happened since is that they've locked him in, right? And this is what I think. I think that we screwed up with Obama. And and it's our fault. I talk about politicians, and I think we're screwing up with Trump too. I think it's our fault. I think that these guys get in and they want to do good. I think they want to actually fix things, but we don't back them up. I think there was a time, and I could be wrong, some of my centurions correct me, that politicians ran, they were elected. After they were elected, the country came together and said, okay, how do we make it with this guy? How do we get the things that we need done? You back him up when he did something good, and you shut him down when he did something stupid. And that way you train them to not do anything stupid. But if you keep clapping every time they do something dumb, it's like the kid who they put on the music and the little girl. Y'all ever seen these videos where you got the little babies, little precious babies, and they put on that just nasty music? And they're in front of the camera dancing, shaking their butt, doing all the little nasty stuff that y'all know y'all do in the clubs and just retarded stuff, G-string. And they got the little babies with the diaper dancing. And they think it's cute. And they post these videos like, oh, look at my baby looking like a little hooker. Oh, look at her. She look like a little hoe. Isn't it so funny? She will continue to do that and do that and do that. Why? Because she's getting a reward for it. Oh, so this is good. It's good to shake my booty in front of grown men. And, Like, think about this a little bit. If you keep clapping every time a politician does something dumb, you keep supporting them because the others are saying it's a bad idea, then you're a fool. And you're actually raising a politician to not only become okay, that's not gonna be nice. I'm not gonna say that. If you don't pull your friend, if you like this politician and you don't correct them, you don't stand with the other side when they do something stupid, when they start another war, when they start bombing more children, then they're gonna do more of it. Why? Simply because they're not in control. They're not in control. And if you're cheering while they're still doing evil and starting slavery and murdering people and throwing them in prison and stealing their resources, and you keep clapping, what do you think Wall Street's going to make them do? What do you think the lobbyists are going to make them do? If the American people are complicit and okay and clapping for murder because they like the identity of the person, then Wall Street's going to force that president to continue to do more of it. And so, all right, we're not going to talk about Trevor Noah. Trevor, I haven't watched him since before the election. When you showed me, and I put him up there with Sank also. Sank, from TYT, I don't watch him either. When you showed me that you're just a shill, I can't. You know what? And I'm as sad as I am to say it, I put Alex Jones in that spot too. I used to watch Alex. He was the shock jock. He was funny. Don't get me wrong, but he lost me with. He posted after the Las Vegas shootings. He posted that, and of course it was just an interview. And I'm okay with shock jockism. Like, I think it's funny and it's entertainment. Howard Stern, but when you post, like he did an interview with a guy who was talking about how Antifa pamphlets or something found at the guy's house or in his hotel room. I'm not a promoter of Antifa. I'm not a promoter of any of these groups. But the fact that you said that, and you know that there are people who are like trying to start up more violent activity based on race and all this infighting North and South and just like restarting the revolution, Civil War and all that stuff, that's inciting violence, and that's just too far for me. And so Alex, he pushed it too far. He pushed it way too far for me. And so I'm done with him too. But Trevor, Sank, and I had nothing to do with it. So I'm gonna keep going because now my Obama people, they mad. And so okay, we're gonna talk about Trump a little bit. So let's head over. I had this thing. Let me do this. I'm gonna change. I got to do a flip. I think. Is it over here? Oh, that's not it. This is what I love too. Oh, I find my new background. So we talk about jobs all day at night. Get your poop out at work because it's important to get your poop out at work. This is where I want to go. All right, this is where we go. Always a little bit of truth, even when crazy people put a little bit of truth out there. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about DACA for a minute. So first of all, let's be clear. Let's be clear that Congress is not doing their job. Let's be clear that when it comes to Trump and Obama, they agree on immigration, right? They're both Democrats from the liberal school. They both completely agreed with DACA, and they also agreed that Congress needs to write the laws. Congress has decided to not write the laws. And so that's kind of what got us in the place where we are, where you don't have any sort of official law surrounding immigration. And so because you don't have that, it means that people are basically slaves, undocumented in a country. They're allowed to come in. They don't get taken care of. They can't stay. And so you can be used by corporations, you can be used by small businesses, you can be used by slave owners because they can threaten to throw you out of the country because you're not really supposed to be here. Obama tried to get Congress to write laws around it because it is not the place of a president to write immigration law. And and so Trump don't try. It's not even Trump. It's just the administration. This Congress has to do what the American people tell them to do. And I honestly know that they're not, because all that money that's burning behind it. They're not going to burn up the money. They're not going to burn up the money being made by having some sort of Mexican slavery, immigration slavery going. They're not going to turn against it. So this is kind of how I think this is going to play out. First of all, so the policy, the idea that okay, if you didn't watch the DACA video, I'll kind of explain it. So basically, what Trump did with DACA is he said that Congress has to fix this. And he gave them time. I think he gave them 6 months to a year, something like that, where you guys need to write the immigration law. We're not going to do anything right now, but in the future, it's going to get handled if you don't do your job and you don't handle it. So right now, the American people should be at their congressman's feet like, you dumb mother, blah, blah, blah. You need to fix immigration, because that's what the current administration said that you should be doing, which is what the last administration said you should be doing. If Congress doesn't fix it, you need to vote out your congressman. That's how you help immigration. That's how you solve problems. If you keep clapping every time the baby dances with the G-string, if you keep clapping every time the baby spills milk on the floor because it's funny, they're going to keep doing it. We keep clapping and we keep voting for congressmen who refuse to do their damn job. Let's say that you own a fast food place and you told the fry guy, fry the fries. And the fry guy said, no, I ain't frying no fries. Would you say, okay, here's your paycheck. We'll see you next week. And he came back next week and you said, fry guy, fry the fries. We got customers out front. And the fry guy looked at you and said, no. And you said, okay, here's your paycheck. We'll see you next week. You know, again, I don't blame Congress. I actually, the deeper you dig into this stuff, it all comes back to us. And by us, I don't mean me. I don't vote for these people. So your job is, if Congress doesn't do their job, if they don't fry the fries, you're supposed to vote them out. And you don't do that. So why would they help any? So this is where I get off on DACA, right? First of all, if you crying that you want to take care of immigrants and look out for immigrants and they're your family and your friends and da-da-da-da-da, then don't tell me that you voted for Democrat and Republicans in Congress. Don't tell me that, because you're not helping. You're actually the problem. Because Congress, being a big spoiled baby that it is, like most of our presidents, are going to continue to do what they're paid to do. The sick system is going to pay them to make money because you allow it. So anyway, what Trump did is now he's putting forward his plan. And it's not really his plan. It's Wall Street's plan. They tell him what to do, how to do it, when to do it. Same when they did Obama. So basically, the cost of the wall is supposed to go into DACA. So I think he's taking the stance that he's not going to sign their immigration law unless they pay for the wall and some ICE people to go deport people. And so kind of how I look at that is, it's this old fashioned thing called a compromise. I'm not sure if you know what that is. It's basically, he's saying that if you give me Hillary Clinton's wall and you pay for it because I lied, Mexico ain't gonna pay for nothing. If you go ahead and let the American taxpayer pay for the wall, I'll sign the legislation to allow for whatever you want to happen with immigration. And to me, I think it's a good thing that is the setup. Now, he's got the ICE stuff in there, and he's got, that whole law enforcement, like he's it's not even he. It's Wall Street, but they're still pushing that whole police state narrative, just like the other side. And so I'm against all of that. But more importantly, we wouldn't have any of these problems if the war on drugs weren't still hot and popping, right? If y'all were against slavery and you didn't want the war on drugs just taking kids and throwing them in prison because they had a little plant, a dried plant sitting in their pocket, we wouldn't have this problem. Like, that's why Mexico's falling apart. It's because of our war on drugs. That's why people want to get the hell out of there. I posted something today. It was kind of that made me think of something. I was thinking about So the beginning of the war on drugs and outlawing cannabis, like that was racist. It was all racist. It was pretty clear. It had to do with the guy in his paper plant and Mexicans and minorities. It was all racist from top to bottom. But I also, the gun control, so let me, I'm gonna go back to what I said, because I know I'm gonna misquote myself. I say stuff sometimes, and I have a lot of fun on this. These little thoughts come to my head. And, oh man, I lost it. I guess I'm gonna misquote myself, which is okay, because can you misquote yourself? Is that a thing? Is it even possible? While I look for it, Sister Barry's talking about sheeple and puppetitions. That's a good word. I think, Mary, you need to coin the word puppetition, because that's exactly what they are. You know, we keep forgetting, because of all the identity politics, that people get to a point where they forget that there are strings attached to these people, that these people only do what they're told to do. But we look at their face and we're like, oh, that's my president, or that's my, and you start, you know. So anyway. So, okay, I can't find it. So I'm going to go ahead and say what I thought it was. What I thought it would basically say something like this. Is as racist as the war on drugs is, what is gun control? Right? So with cannabis and the war on drugs, they were going after people who never did a crime because they thought they might do a crime. Right? Is that not what gun control is? Are you not going after people who've never done a crime because you think they might do the crime? I'm not going to say it's racist, but that's daggone near close, right? Because if the people who look like you, act like you, talk like you don't have guns, but the others do, and you want to make laws to make sure that they go to prison if they actually are still peaceful citizens and don't do anything wrong, I'm not sure that's racist, but that's definitely targeting a culture. That's definitely targeting a community. Now, if you got an issue with people shooting guns and breaking the law, then maybe your issue should be with the people shooting the guns and breaking the law. Maybe your issue should be with the companies that are making money selling them drugs to break the law. But, you know, that's it. Anyway, I'm wrapping down. I had a lot of fun, and it's fun to go through the news and look at. There are a whole bunch of other things going on, crazy stuff. I never get a chance to talk about all the things I want to talk about. But after a while, it just, my coffee starts to wear down, and I think we had a lot of fun. Let me just see if the comments are short, I can kind of hit them. But when they're kind of long, it's kind of hard to hit all of them. So. Yeah, Sister Tammy talking about Zionist is propaganda to keep people away from the real enemy, the CIA. And that's the whole thing about attacking the side effect, right? If you can keep people going after the not problem, then I can still keep making money on the problem. If I keep you going after the police, if I keep, instead of the politicians who write their laws, if I can keep you focused on racism instead of the money and the powerism that drives it, if I can keep you focused on the guns and not the politicians who are actually making big money from the companies that are funding the NRA and the politicians selling those weapons to other companies or countries. If I can keep you focused on, if I can keep you off kilter, you'll never, ever solve a problem. It's like, I make it emotional. I make it, you know, root cause analysis. And so everything is a game of keep away with the truth and logic. So I totally agree with that. Yeah, and I agree, Sister Mary. Alex does tell the truth sometimes. He does. Yeah, and he's entertaining, but where I stop is when you're getting people hurt, right? When you start going so far that you're getting people hurt, then that's when I got to pull back. And I have to pull back from Alex, because that's, I started to pull back when I started to see some of his narratives, and I can't do it. I'm not saying nothing about Trevor, nothing about Alex, nothing about, who was the other guy? Sank. I'm just saying that I'm starting to feel like they're picking a side. And I don't like sides. I don't do sides. So I just kind of pull back a little bit. Y'all talking about a bunch of stuff this morning. Wow, okay. Mr. Mayor, you gonna move to Mexico? I'm not sure you should do that. I think you should wait till they end the war on drugs. But although I know there are a lot of beautiful, very safe towns in Mexico. In fact, my cousin, they own land down in one of them, and they were just talking about how beautiful it was and how friendly everybody is and how safe it was. And so just be careful where you pick the town, because if you pick a country or a town where Congress smells some resources, where they smell some coltan or they smell some people they can put into slavery, you might end up in a bad spot. So just wherever you're going to leave the United States, which I'm not going to say don't do, just make sure you pick a place where they can't make any money, because you might find yourself under some drones. Yeah, Sister Lisa, I saw what happened with Debbie, and that actually is a good thing to think about. We have to figure out, so they took down Sane Progressive, a lot of her videos off of YouTube, and I think a lot of it was based around Las Vegas, and I thought, and I have to talk to Debbie, I hate to say anything about it without knowing the facts. I think that it had to do with the information she was being fed was from a fake crisis profile or something like that. And that's kind of the challenge of doing this, all of this, being, a commentator and talking about stuff, is we don't have fact checkers. And so it's a challenge even in the information we get. Like, if you watch the mainstream media, it's not always going to be true. And if you get it from online, it's not always going to be true. But that's where censorship is a real issue, because of course they're going to censor, they're going to let the mainstream media lie, but they're not going to let a little person, and Debbie's not that little, she's pretty big actually, but they're not going to let, any sort of extra, anything that's not completely true, they're not going to let it go. They're going to shut you down immediately. So that's the challenge, but we live in America. It's not supposed to be any censorship. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to let everything out. You should let everything out. But YouTube is going that direction for a long time. Hey, what's happening? Brother Russell came in. I'm sorry, Brother Russell. I'm slowly starting to wrap up. I'm just looking at some of the last comments. And Sister Mary says she supports Howdy Doody for the next president. I do too, because it does not matter. The only way a president will matter is if you get the majority of Americans behind that president. If the majority of Americans are behind that president in certain initiatives like ending the wars on drugs, ending, those things, that president could be safe to do whatever they say they want to do. But if you got half the American population or less than half backing that president, if that president does anything outside of the things that Wall Street tell him to do, the lobbyists, they're going to end up talking to JFK. So when it comes to that, it doesn't matter who's president. I personally, I like Foghorn leg? I'm getting old. I don't remember that. Foghorn, the chicken. Y'all know the rooster. Y'all know his name, Foghead Leghorn, something like that. I like him as president. And it's not going to matter. He's going to do the same thing that all the presidents do. Like I said, this is Bush term 5, and it's still rolling because you can't get people agreeing on anything. Not yet, anyway. All right. So, yeah. Well, I like Alex. We talked about aliens. That was fun, but, hey, Sister Mary. I got a lot. That's 2 Marys on there. All right. So anyway, that's pretty much what I got for this morning. I'm in here with the Joker burning the money up, because the root of every single problem we have, if you can get down to the root cause, you can fix everything for everybody. And while we can all debate about what the next best system to move to is, the fact of the matter is, if it involves placing human beings between life and survival, and putting something between that, whatever you put between human beings' life and survival, that's what's going to own that system. And we've allowed them to put dollar bills between human beings and survival. And so if you can do that, you can get a human being to do anything you want them to do. My last example, and I'm done, which is if the king wants a war, I'm the king of England, I want war with France. You guys are happy, having fun, having a good life, growing your own food, serfs running around, and I need you to go to war for me. You're not going to go to war if you're already happy and making money. I have to starve you. I have to make you poor. I have to motivate you to want money, right? And so I need to figure out a way to put money between what I want you to do and take away what you're already doing. And so what I'll do is I'll starve you. I'll say you can't hunt on my land, you can't grow, I'll raise taxes. And so when you're poor and you're impoverished and you don't have a whole lot of choices, you'll go to war for me. Why? Because I'm going to pay you to go fight France. That's what they do. And we got to stop getting played. And so I think we need a system where human beings are the valued resource, the only valued resource. And they can have money on top of that if they want. They can have other little things, whatever. But the basis has to be human life. And nothing can come between a human being having life, freedom, a house, food, water. When a human being has everything they need, they become who they're supposed to be. And then on top of that, you can do whatever you want. So in terms of the dollar, I say let it fall. Let it collapse. Let it be done. Venezuela, is it Turkey and China and Russia and even now Saudi Arabia, all of them, they're all moving away from the petrodollar. They're all okay with this. They're all making shifts. And so if they're all making shifts, go ahead and let it collapse. I'm done with it now. It's going to hurt. It would be great to kind of wake up on the way down. But, it's this thing of if the system is sick, you got to let it fall. So anyway, that's my thing. No, I don't smoke cocaine. I got an itchy nose. I don't know what the hell is going on. My nose is doing something this morning. It might be this coffee cup. I don't know. New coffee make your nose itch. Don't drink blueberry coffee. It'll jack you up. Anyway. I might come back later today. I think about doing something later with Claudia. So I might show up on Claudia's house later today. Y'all have a good day. Keep it honest. Keep it true. There are no others. Always, always fall back on your humanity. Y'all have a